Boom. Hey, what's up? World Wrestling Live, man. We are live, and we got a good one for you today. I know you guys were expecting RJ Weston. He is the number one seed, and I'm sure we'll talk about it at 152 at the Grappler. He had to change to tomorrow, same time. I reached out to the boys at the Grappler. I said, man, let's do a GFC preview for the biggest, baddest GFC ever. And boom, Michigan Grappler editor, Michigan State champ, Eastern Michigan wrestler, club coach in Michigan, ranking genius. Don't call him Rain Man. He doesn't like it. JJ Johnson, and we're about to preview this thing. What's up, JJ, man? Thanks so much for coming on.
Hey, how's it going? I appreciate you having me on. You gave me maybe too much credit there in the intro, but I'm glad to be here.
Yeah. Hey, that's all right, man. From what I understand, you do big things for Michigan and the Grappler and, of course, wrestling. So that's what I'm trying to do too. But man, I keep seeing these posts on the Grappler, and I'm like, man, I can't wait. My son is going to wrestle in the varsity division, not the elite division. So I'll go watch him. But like, I just want to get a box of popcorn and a hot dog and sit there and watch these elite matches because you guys are bringing it this year.
Yeah, it's a good feel. I know you had Tony on before, and at that point, that was probably a couple of weeks ago, and it was a tough tournament at that point, and they've just continued to roll in from around the country. And like you said, it's by far the biggest event we've had, and without a doubt, the toughest field as well.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, before I ask you this question, let's just say this: 98 so far, and it's still open for 3 more days, right?
Yep.
98 state champs, 68 nationally ranked wrestlers, 322 all-state wrestlers, 15 plus or minus nationally ranked girls right now, still more signing up. I mean, that's got to be at least double what you get typically.
Well, I'll say this for the elite field. I think the total number of entries we had last year was 350, and we'll probably have that many all-staters alone this year. So I think the elite field is almost going to double from what it was a year ago, and just kind of a perfect storm of events. There's a huge group from Michigan coming down, which I've said before, but we're super pumped to have. That's not around the corner, and that's the number one state traveling down. And then I know Florida, as Tony said, Florida always brings a ton of guys, and they're bringing a ton again. So
yeah, I've talked to several coaches that usually maybe they only have 1 or 2 kids going, and now they're bringing their whole team because they can drive. There's no airplanes, there's no airports, there's no car rentals. They can just jump in a van and do their thing.
Yeah.
I got you were just speaking of Chuck Morgan. There he is. Hey, another great Michigan product. He just shouted you out. There was some whispers. I was talking around the gym this weekend at the early entry for Super 32.
Yep.
And some people feel like it was very smart by the Grappler to jump in, set a date immediately, and get this thing rolling. And they believe it's going to be bigger than the 32 this year because their timing was just on point. And all these kids that probably would have went there are coming here instead.
Yeah, that's a credit to Tony Greathouse, who is really running the tournament. But we start looking at that stuff in maybe June or July as far as dates and venues. And as you know, last year was at Michigan State. I think we actually outgrew MSU, so we were looking at other places in Michigan. And then this year, obviously, when everything hit, we really had no idea. And it was between a few states, and Myrtle Beach in South Carolina as a whole seemed to be the most open. And New Way, who's running our COVID compliance down there, had run events down there already. So as far as knowing the area and kind of the processes for the event, it just kind of seemed like it was going to be the best place. And like I said, I didn't know how many people from Michigan, which is the bulk of our entries usually, would make the trip, but obviously a ton are coming down. So I really didn't know how big it was going to be. I'm blown away with the registration, and it's going to be awesome. I can't wait.
Yeah, I'm excited to see wrestling, first of all, and I'm excited that people are having wrestling this weekend. Jim Bird and Jim Price and Shale and I hope I said her name right, Shale, and all the people down here that put on the early entry They really, really did a good job. They had everybody wearing masks when they weren't on the mat. They were announcing it. They were double checking it. You were getting temperature checked. You were getting a pen written on your hand when you were checked. They were very firm with everything, and the tournament was just couldn't have been better. So I'm glad to see them do that. You guys are going to do this. I'm sure we're going to have the same results, and it's nice to start to see wrestling open up again. So I'm happy about that. But man, let's get into it. So we said 98 state champs, 68 nationally ranked kids, 322 all states. We've said the girls division is starting to grow right now. You're already up to 13 or 15 nationally ranked guys. But first of all, largest GFC ever, man, by hundreds, correct?
Yeah. I want to say by the end of it, we might double from last year, which was our biggest.
And you think we're going to be in the thousands, over 1,000?
Yeah, we're over there that right now, but I don't know what it's going to end up at. I think we're probably close to, if there is a capacity. I don't know if there is, but it's most of these brackets, the elite and varsity are like 40, 50 deep as far as entries per weight. So you're going to look at full 64 person brackets and almost all those weights.
Wow. So let's get into it. Yesterday, you guys released the pre-seeds for elite, right? We've got them here.
Yep.
You've got for boys. I saw all the boys pre-seeds. You only released the 15 nationally ranked seeds for women right now. I'm sure you're still working on the weight classes and stuff as that starts to grow. But you released the number one seeds. First of all, who were they? You have them. I've got them here. We've got at 98 pounds Seth Mendoza, right?
Yep.
105, we got Drew Heathwis from Michigan. 112, we've got Caden Horwath at Michigan. 119, Joey Cruz in California. 125, Carlos Negrete in California. 130, Casey Swiderski. 135, Nick Bousakis. 140, Caden McCrary. 145, Alec Martin. Good kid. Did I miss one here? 152, RJ Weston. Sorry, my printer cut off at the bottom. 160, Stony Buell. 171, Gabe Arnold. 180, Florida boy Ty Lukens. 215, Noah Pettigrew. And 285, Levi Andrews. So first of all, congratulations to all those kids that got the pre-seed number one. Way to work your ass off and get that. So, man, talk about those kids. So what was that, 14 weight classes, right?
We actually go 15. So we threw in a 98 pound below. And if you notice, we use Michigan weights. Those are the weights that we use for our high school season. So it's a little bit different. I think we're the only state that still uses those weight classes. But with football, it kind of works out nice because kind of consolidates the upper weights a little bit. A lot of those guys are playing football in the fall. So those fields are a little bit lighter, but yeah, I mean, as far as the seeds, and we mentioned this, Tony and I did a preview podcast, which is on our website right now, or on Apple, Michigan Grappler podcast. Talking about the seeds, those things kind of change. They're not set in stone because it's such a huge tournament this year, and there's kind of a vast number of nationally ranked guys and state champs, as you mentioned. It's tough to seed. It's tough to seed. So I outsourced a little bit. I had to get some outside input on some of it. And because most years it's a lot of Midwest, it's a lot of Michigan, Indiana, Illinois, Wisconsin, Ohio, and Florida. And those are kind of our main states. So it's a different crop of kids that I don't necessarily normally have seen compete. So trying to go as much off of national rankings and national accolades as you can. And really with the goal, just trying to separate the best guys, and trying to get that as close to right as you possibly can. But as far as the number one seeds in the tournament, there's a lot of familiar faces a lot of those guys have won the tournament before. I can run through them as far as I know.
I was going to ask how did you, what was your formula? I mean, you don't have to share like your exact science behind how you rank kids, but like pi equals square times 2 hold the 1 seed, right? But
Yeah.
you don't have to share that. But what's the basic, what's your basic premise on seeding the grappler? Obviously, a strength is your grappler results. I mean, you're coming back to a tournament you won, so you got to get credit for that, right?
Yeah, that's part of it. I think the biggest one at the top of it is, just looking at where they're at in the national rankings, which, there's three different kind of major ranking outlets or services. And, looking at that, if those guys, those people that follow the sport and have all those results, maybe more so than myself, I'll take their word for it on where those guys should maybe slot in. You also look at the weight class they wrestled, how they've done at national tournaments. Whereas if it's a state champ, when we have 30 different states at the tournament, a state champ here and a state champ there is a little bit different. So try to get that as close as you possibly can. But there's definitely not an exact science to it by any means.
And you don't usually have 98 state champs to filter through.
Yeah. I mean, some of them we're just trying to get it as like I said, as close as you possibly can. You want the best matchups to happen the later in the tournament, and that's really what we're trying to get done. So,
and that makes sense because you can see, you always, no matter what happens when rankings come out, there's always somebody that is like, well, my kid beat that kid, but that kid beat that kid with that, and yeah, we know that, but we don't want to see, let's see, we don't want to see a, like a Swiderski versus LaCure in the first round. We want to see that in quarter semifinals, right? So we got to set it up where top and bottom seeds, they're fighting their way through, and it definitely makes sense.
I'll say this too. Once you hit about the round of 16, there's not going to be an easy path in almost all those weights. You're going to have to win 3 or 4 pretty tough matches to close out if you're going to win the tournament.
All right, so here's the question. Do we well, we won't get to that one yet. I was going to say, do we go chalk? But let's talk through it a little bit. We know who the top 15 seeds are. We've seen them. You've posted them. You printed them. How large? We know how many. We know you have 15 nationally ranked girls. But before I ask this question, how many girls? Do you have an estimate? Kind of, how many girls are wrestling?
I don't have that offhand. I know it's probably double, again, kind of double the tournaments we've had in the past.
Okay, so hundreds and hundreds. So that's cool.
I would say maybe 100, maybe 80, somewhere in there. There's less weight classes. There's maybe 8 or 9 weights.
Yes. What I wanted to ask was, 10 guys, 10 girls, maybe the ones to watch. I wrote down 10 we should tune in to watch. So if you want to mix girls with those 10, that's fine. If we want to say 10 guys, 10 girls, that's fine. Maybe since there's less girls, we go 10 guys, 5 girls. But
sure,
who are the ones to watch? Because we can say, let's go chalk and all the ones are going to win it, but it's probably not going to happen, right? It may. You may think it will. I don't know. So
I would doubt it. But
yeah,
we'll see.
But in your mind, who are the 10 to keep our eye on that may do big things here?
Yeah. So I guess the number one, or maybe the first guy that you'd think of is Nick Bouzakis, who has won the GFC 3 times. He won it as an 8th grader, as a freshman and a sophomore. So he'll be looking to win his 4th. If he does that, he'd be the first to ever win the tournament 4 times. He's one of 3 who have won it 3 times in the high school division. And just, I mean, if you've seen him wrestle before, he's just a machine. So we always love having him and the whole family. Between him, his brother, and his sister, they've won the tournament 10 times. So they got 10 plaques between the 3 of them.
I would like to say that his sister is going to be better than all of them.
I don't disagree.
All right, so number one guy to watch is Bouzakis coming back. He's a 3-time champ, and he's going for his 4th.
Yeah,
All
I'm
right.
not going to maybe go through these in any particular order, so I might not go one or two.
No, that's okay. It's okay. I just said number one because it
Yep.
was the number one guy you said. So no, even though it's going to be hard to be number one above that guy.
It'll be tough. It'll be tough. Another one is Casey Swiderski from Michigan. He's going for his third. He's won it twice. He's a two-time state champ and the number one junior in the state of Michigan. Has a really fun style, wrestles really hard. He's got some really good leg attacks, and I think people will enjoy watching him. Joey Cruz is another guy from California. He was third at the tournament last year. He's ranked first or second, depending on what in the country, depending on what poll you look at. He's one of the best lightweights in the country, pound for pound. So that would be another guy. The interesting thing too is, like I said, because we have so many new faces, some of these guys I'm kind of just excited to watch that maybe I haven't seen before when you look at results and how they've done at national tournaments.
Yeah,
So a guy like Gabe,
that's good because maybe, when we talk about the guys and girls to watch,
yeah,
maybe afterwards I'll say, okay, 5 sleepers or something. And we can say, okay, keep an eye on whatever, right? I don't know. Let's have some fun with it. Do you have anywhere to go?
No, I'm open this afternoon.
Yeah, I'm good. And I don't have to leave until early afternoon to pick up my kids. So,
all right. So what was that? 2 or 3? That was 3.
So we got so far 3-time champ Busakis, 2-time champ Swiderski, third place last year, Joey Cruz.
Yep. Like I said, guys that I'm excited to see as well would be like a lot of these Georgia guys that we really haven't had. So if I can lump in a couple, maybe I'll do that. But like a Gabe Arnold, who is the number one pound for pound sophomore in the country, and at that same weight is a guy, Matthew Singleton, out of Woodward Academy. So those are a couple of maybe the Georgia guys. I mean, Georgia has such a good group coming that, they have a ton of nationally ranked guys. It's almost like they're bringing all their best.
So we'll call number 3 Gabe Arnold and Matthew Singleton.
Yep, that'll work. And then at 220, Noah Pettigrew, who I think is originally from Georgia as well. He's out of Blair. Is a top 5 guy, depending on what poll you look at. So I would put him in that mix.
And these guys haven't been to the Grappler.
No, I think that's their first ever Blair Academy guy. We have a lot of first-time GFC participants this year, which is exciting to see. I'm going to try to pull these up. There's a couple other guys. One is, he's going to be at Bazakis' weight, but Davin Rhodes, who's a top 10 guy from Ohio, state champ. I want to say Fargo champ. That's at 135, so that could set up a pretty good final should they both make it there. Jaden Gomez from California is another guy. He's a returning GFC champ, nationally ranked guy. And Caden McCrary is at that same weight from Georgia, and that's at 140. So a couple really good guys in the mix at 140. And then 145 is the returning second, third, fourth place finishers from our tournament last year at the same weight. And that's Henry Porter from California, Alec Martin from Ohio, and Garrison Dendy from, I think, Georgia, or from Tennessee by way of Georgia. But 145 is a really deep weight, and, as you would expect it to be. But those 3 guys plus Michael Kilich in there from Georgia. Trying to come up with a top 10 is difficult, but I'm trying to get through it a little bit. 160, there's a couple of Michigan guys that are super tough. Stoney Buell and Josh Barr. Buell's a 3-time state champ from Dundee, and Barr was an undefeated state champ as a freshman last year. He's got a teammate at 112, Caden Horwath, who's a freshman state champ, was third at this tournament last year.
I think I just scratched out the numbers. I'm just writing down.
Yeah, I think I might give you 15 or so.
Yeah, it's cool.
Manny Rojas is another guy from DCC. At 171, he was in the finals of Fargo twice, Michigan State champ. Drew Heatice, his teammate, at 105, was a returning GFC champ, was third in the state last year.
Yeah, I had him on. Great kid.
Yeah, I saw that, yep. And then Ty Lukens, as you said, the 1 seed from Florida, top 10 in the country. Jackson Smith at that same weight from Georgia, also top 10 in the country. So, like I said, there's almost every weight you're 3 or 4 deep nationally ranked. And if you can get on the podium, you're pretty dang good.
Well, let's talk girls. What are the girls to watch?
Okay, I'll try to pull it. I know the Michigan girls are bringing a good group. Maybe we'll hit that, touch on them first, just because I'll maybe have a little bit better idea. But
yeah, and I have a few girls coming on this afternoon, but from Dr. Phillips with Kerwin Adderley. So
okay.
One of them is ranked 14th in the nation, I believe, at 117. Juliana.
Okay. Yep. Yeah, I see her in there. So the Michigan nationally ranked is Kendra Ryan. From Michigan, she was I think she's won the girls state twice. She's ranked top 15 in the country. Sylvia Pierce from Bedford, she was the state champ this year, ranked 13th. Alicia Piper from Michigan, she's ranked 12th. Sabrina Noss is ranked number 8th. She's an incoming freshman. She's won the GFC high school division twice already as a 7th grader and an 8th grader. So I guess those would be maybe the Michigan ones. And then one just signed up today, Maritza Gallegos, who was a state champ last year as well. So like I said, it's kind of our best from the state. Anyone who's maybe not playing a fall sport or something like that, but almost half of our state champs from Michigan will be in the division. And then if I look at kind of some top 10 girls from the other states, at 102, you've got Heaven Fitch from North Carolina, who's ranked 5th in the country. Amani Jones from Georgia, who's ranked number 3. Chloe Ogden from Florida, who's ranked 2nd. And then a handful in that 10 to 15 range. So again, almost every weight, I think, will have one nationally ranked, most have 2. So I'm looking forward to those finals. I think all those finals will be awesome.
Man, yeah, that's awesome. What
and I'll say this, it's our 3rd year of the girls division. I think the first year we might have only had 15 total in the tournament. So it's like,
yeah,
try to get it in, but
it's doing awesome, man, and growing like crazy, right?
Yeah.
All right, so so we got some guys and girls to keep our eyes on that, a lot of chalk there, right? I mean, we think that the guys that have won consistently are going to win again. But you during your seedings and your whatever it is that you do when you do this shit, you had to look and go, man, I'm gonna keep my eye on this kid or that girl or that guy. What are some of the sleepers that you're saying, okay, where is it? Where can there be an upset? What's a match you see? What are some matches you see that are when you're building these brackets and you're going, okay, I want to see that guy match up against that guy and see what happens?
That's tough. That's tough because, like I said, since registration's open and it's not a one-step weigh-in, guys will always shift weights later in the tournament. So like sitting 5 days out right now, it's going to be tough for me to look at where maybe those seeds fit in, just because it's going to change up until the last day. There's always, someone can't make.
What are some kids that, there's always kids that make a name for themselves at a tournament like this.
Yep.
They're not seeded yet. Maybe they're not top 10, top 20, top 50, but they're coming in. And after this tournament, we're going to say, we know John Smith now or whatever.
Sure. I think you're going to look at a lot of the Ohio guys. Their state tournament got canceled. So, a lot of those guys really haven't wrestled in a big, maybe national event since probably last fall. So they didn't get a chance to their state tournament, no Fargo, nothing like that. So I would say that there's maybe a lot of those guys that are in the mix. And I don't know to pinpoint one of them.
Sure.
But Yeah, it's tough just because the size, I guess, of the field to kind of come through. But I don't know. I like a few of the incoming freshmen who are in the field, and I'm curious to see where maybe they slot in. Every year, it's kind of you get these freshmen who had really good youth success. You don't know how it's going to translate, but some of them you've seen the results at some of these other tournaments leading up to this, and they've beaten some good guys already. So.
And who are those freshmen that you think may shock us?
Yeah. Okay. So Jeremy Ginter from Ohio, Aiden Sinclair from Wisconsin. One just signed up today. Justin Gates from Michigan is another one. Who was it that just signed up today? I want to say he was from North Carolina. I can't remember. And then Vince Bizakis, who I think he's actually still in 8th grade, but in the elite field at 112. Those are some guys, maybe some new faces that you might not have seen wrestle yet.
Last year he was injured.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, he didn't wrestle.
Okay. Yeah, he's won it 4 times. He's won the middle school twice and the elementary twice. So they've been coming the last 4 years.
Yeah, I know they were going to go to who's number 1 this year, right? But the guy got injured or something or backed out. I don't know what happened, but
yep.
I'm sure the Grappler was happy about that because
yeah,
that's a good draw for him. So let's talk about the Grappler Cup. So last year it went to Florida. Our boys down here, they took it. This year we're obviously looking at more states, more participation from these states, and more Floridians too are coming in. So first tell us what the Grappler Cup is and how you guys came up with it, and then let's discuss who you think might win it.
Yeah, so the Grappler Cup we started last year for the first time. It was really just to try to get some semblance of a team, not necessarily team, but a state competition. So, as you get these finals, it maybe creates a little bit more buzz. And now that it's a 2-day tournament, there will be a little bit more implication. But essentially, we're going to take the top 10 scoring individuals by state, add up those points. Whichever state has the most points is going to take the trophy home for a year and then come back to defend it the next year. So like you said, Florida won it last year. It was I actually think we gave it to Michigan and recounted. There was a recount situation. Florida ended up winning. So Nick Simmons handed it to Coach.
That's the first recount that Florida's ever won.
Right. Yeah, the most famous recount in Florida history. But so he, Coach Plazo has that. And both those states, Florida and Michigan, just by sheer numbers, will be in the mix. But I like Georgia. I like Georgia coming through in the field that they have. If I was going to pick a team right now or a state right now, I think I would go with them.
So welcome to the Grappler, Georgia. And you say Georgia's going to shock the world and win it.
I think so. I think as far as just top tier, if it's just your top 10 guys, I think they have that and then some nationally ranked who, the problem that they may run into, honestly, is they could have put a couple guys in the finals at the same weight, which is maybe not a problem, but he's stealing some points from themselves a little bit.
Yeah, Florida could have that issue too.
Florida could as well, yeah, and Michigan, yeah.
You've got McClellan and Nini in the same weight class, and that could be a matchup that we could see happen and cause a Floridian to be out of there. Those two guys are hammers. From the
Ohio too. Ohio's bringing a good group. They've had some later registrations, but I'd say Ohio's in the mix too. We like doing the 10 though because it's you don't have to bring 300 guys to win it. If you bring your 10 best, and you could win it with just 10. So
yeah, because let's discuss this for a second. The coaches from each state decide, okay, what 10 wrestlers are you giving the Grappler, and those are your 10 horses for the race, right? So you can have 40 Georgians, 40 Floridians, 40 Michigans, 40 whatever, but you decide what horses to provide for the race, right?
So we did that last year. We actually changed it. So
Okay.
yeah, so anyone, no matter who it is, we'll just look at the top 10 across the board.
Okay, so everybody wrestles.
Yep.
And the top 10 from each state get picked. So the highest seeds, whatever. So if there's 5 quarterfinalists, 8 finalists, 10 champs, whatever. Yeah, because last year it was you had to give your horses for the race prior to the race starting, right?
Yeah, and I want to say maybe one of the states, like one of their big guns got hurt like super early, and like that was it. But it was over. So it just kind of opened it up, I guess, make it a little bit more inclusive to the whole state rather than trying to have to decide, 10 guys.
It did make it interesting, right?
It did. So I like it from the standpoint that, like I said, now that it's 2 days, we wake up Sunday morning and we've got semifinals going on, and it's, Georgia versus Florida in one semi and Florida versus Michigan in the other one. And those will have a little bit more implication. Maybe. I don't know if people will see it like that, but that's kind of how I picture it.
All right. So we talked about, on the girls' side, we talked about who to keep our eye on. We just had a question come across from Miss Callie Coleman Slauson. She's asking, who are the girls' sleepers and weight class?
Man, I wish I had a better answer. I'm not sure, because I've really just seen the Michigan girls wrestle at the state tournament. I guess I would have to dig in. That's kind of catching me off guard a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not sure. I'm really not. I would say, outside of the national rankings and stuff like that, I don't necessarily have a good answer. I wish I had a better one. There's a couple down there at 102 from Michigan that I know are tough. Emmy Hicks from Michigan was a state champ last year. She's not nationally ranked, but and then Maria Stanton, who is really tough as well.
Miss Lawson, will your girl be there? We'll see if she
120, it looks like, yeah.
Yeah,
right. Tegan Slauson?
Yeah, she's fun
maybe
to watch. Huh?
Then maybe she's the sleeper.
Yeah, there we go. She's the sleeper. We found her. Actually, so her dad was multiple state champ, I think, in Iowa or something, national champ in Iowa. And she said, of course, I watched her wrestle at a small duel down on the Palm Coast for the first time, and she looked good. She's big, she's long, she's strong. It was her first ever freestyle tournament. I was talking to her dad. It was the first ever time doing freestyle tournament at the early entry this year. And she got all the way to the semi. She just ran into Jasmine Godinez, who is just an absolute buzzsaw down from Hialeah, Miami Lakes. And but I think we're going to see Tegan do big things, and obviously to get to the semis in that big tournament we were at this weekend was awesome. But like I said, Godinez is just is big time. I wish she was coming up to the GFC.
It's not too late.
Yeah, but Tegan is definitely fun to watch. I got to see her back-to-back tournaments. I love watching her. I love her size. I love her length. I think we're going to see. I think we're going to see a lot from her. So that's the sleeper. But you've got Juliana coming up from Dr. Phillips. I'm sure they're bringing more. She just won her bracket at the early entry. She's number 14 in the nation. They were going to see big things from her. I'm sure there's some other Florida girls coming up. I mean, we know Chloe Ogden. We know what she can do. Number 2 in the country. We'll see.
It'll be interesting too, because most of them are going to wrestle folk style and freestyle. So you'll get a couple shots at maybe those girls that are under the radar. They should get a shot to knock off someone in one of those styles. So should be a good opportunity.
Yeah, it was fun, and I love the boys. I love watching the boys wrestle, and I had fun watching them wrestle. But there was definitely a point where I found myself stuck in the corner. They had the girls' mat final day, and I was definitely glued there because first of all, it was freestyle, so it was fun. It was seeing people getting thrown and seeing how hard they were working, and these girls are were fired up. So it was hard to move from that mat because it was really some fun wrestling going on.
I bet.
So we got George's the prediction on the Grappler. We've got some sleepers going on here. We've got some incoming freshmen that are in the elite division probably for the first time, right? And we're going to see them do some big things.
Yeah.
Including 5-time champ, the young Vince Bousakis, who has won it in middle school and elementary school. You've got Nick back in the mix, right? Some of the studs we talked about, of course, Ty Lukens, Florida boy. We got Drew Heathius. We got a bunch of guys here, a bunch of good girls. Man, that's awesome. So, let's talk about. I think we spoke about the girls division a little bit, right?
Yep.
And there's a lot of great stuff happening there. Now, how do we watch? How do people tune in? Are there certain times to watch the quarters and semis and finals? You guys broke it up to 2 days this year.
Yeah, so every match is going to be streamed live on Track Wrestling, so you can watch it there. I'm not sure what time the quarterfinals will be Saturday. I think we're hoping for like 5 or 6, but we'll wrestle through the quarterfinals and the blood round Saturday for the elite division. And then Sunday morning at 9 a.m. will be the semis and start to wrestle through, and we're shooting for a noon finals on Sunday afternoon. So as far as the other divisions, I know they're split up. I can't recall the exact time. That's more Tony's department. But they'll start folk style in the morning, freestyle in the afternoon, and they'll be out. That's kind of the same for both days. And then the varsity will kick off Sunday. Is
that your ranking board behind you, like your little boxes where you put all the guys?
It's a oversized calendar, a little deal. Keep me on track.
As you get older, the calendars get bigger. Yeah, I like it, man. So what else? So we've got the state champs. We got the number 1 seeds were announced. We talked about that. 10 guys and girls we should look at. We spoke about the Grappler Cup. We talked about how to watch. We talked about some girls coming in, the girls division growing, the growth of it. What do you think about Myrtle Beach this year?
I'm excited. I've never been to Myrtle Beach, so
that makes 2 of us.
It'll be a little bit nicer than actually the weather in Michigan's pretty good right now, but usually this time of year, when the leaves are falling, it gets a little colder, but no, I'm excited to go down. I'm excited.
All right. So what else should we talk about with the Grappler? What else do we need to preview? Are there some people in the varsity division that are studs? What about the youth, young kids? Who are we looking for? We're obviously watching the little sister that we talked about, and then she'll probably blow through her division again, right? And then what other young kids are out there that you've seen that you think this is the future of our sport?
I'm not sure, but I'm excited to check it out. I'm sure we'll find a couple this weekend. The varsity division is super deep this year. It's tougher than it's been, and doing it on Sunday, I think we'll maybe catch a couple people from the elite division Saturday who will come over and make that a really tough tournament. But as far as the youth, man, I don't know. I just kind of peek in and I check it out, and I've seen some really good kids over the years. A lot of these guys, like we said, as we went through them, a lot of the guys who are tough now in high school and competing for, likely competing to win the GFC this year in high school, won it as elementary or middle school guys when they came through. So it's a nice little springboard maybe. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure.
You're familiar with, obviously, you're pretty familiar with all these kids that are ranked in the elite division. I'm in Florida. This is my home. So let me ask you about some Florida guys that you think may be able to to shock some of these brackets. Are you okay with that?
I'll do my best. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. We've got. We'll start 98, right? 98. No Florida in 98. 105. So last year, Drew Heathius and Ethan Rivera met up for a showdown where Drew won that one. Ethan proceeded to get better throughout the year, ended up winning the Florida State Championship. He's in that bracket with Drew again. Another Florida boy, Christian Guzman, Adrian Morales, Tyler Washburn, Jay Paradon. So Jace Paradon, which is awesome. I was actually just talking to his dad, see if I can get him on. that list of Florida guys right there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 big Florida guns in that 105 division. Out of those 5, which one do you think could shake the cart and take that position from Drew?
Yeah, well, I think all those guys have been to the GFC before, believe it or not. I might be wrong. A lot of them have. But probably Rivera maybe would be the guy. Like you said, he was fourth, or he was third last year at the GFC. And as the bracket stands right now, he would have Heath Tyson in the semis. So it'd be an interesting matchup should he survive Gates in the quarters, if that stands. But yeah, we watched him last year. I think we maybe seated him too low, and Coach Palazzo let us know that he should probably be higher than that. He was right.
He doesn't voice his opinion, does he?
I mean, he was nice about it, but I got an email for a text from Tony. He said,
Nice.
You got to bump him up a little bit. I was like, all right, I'll do it.
So the matchup to look forward to in that bracket is the semi, Drew, Ethan. Now I think Jace Paradon is, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he's only an 8th grader.
You might be right on that. I know that I missed a couple of results on that, so he'll actually get moved up in the seeds.
And he's ranked there, so that's good. And obviously Guzman, so they're all good. So we're thinking the one Florida kid that can knock Drew off his horse is Ethan. Drew's a good kid. Let's see what happens there. Okay, 112. You don't mind doing this with me, do you?
Yeah, I'm not the Florida expert, but like I've seen enough of these guys wrestle. Maybe.
Yeah, let's do it. All right. So, Florida kids. I know that it says Florida next to his name. He's no longer in Florida. He's up at the seminary, but you've got Florida by his name. So you've got Vince Bousakis at 112.
Yeah, I think I've put Bousakis Florida so many times in the last 3 years that
I don't see any other Florida in there. So, obviously he can shock anybody at any time. He's good enough, right? What's the semifinal matchup to look for in that in 112 that we should keep our eyes on if they make it through?
I would guess Bousakis and Corday probably at the 2-3.
Nice. I want to know because this is all good stuff to do this with you, because then when I can go onto my track wrestling, I can put who to watch.
Oh yeah.
Other than the team that my son is coming up with, but
which, by the way, CFWA I think has the largest group of any group in the country coming to the tournament.
Oh well, outstanding.
Yes.
Yep, outstanding. Let's see, 119. How many Florida boys are in there? So we've got Cooper Haas in there. Cooper Haas is an absolute hammer, young kid. He just pinned his way through the Super 32 early entry out of Osceola. Noah Waddle is a previous state champ. Those two guys are tough. Which one of those two guys do you think could shock the cart and make it into those Final Four?
Again, just kind of based on what I know, I would guess Haas. I think he won the elementary and the middle school when he came through at the GFC before. So he's been up to the tournament at least a couple times. But I would guess him.
Nice. And what's the matchup to look for in that group?
For the semis, as far as projected?
Yes, sir.
Read me the top 4 there. You have them? I'll pull up.
Cruz, Santinello, Yarborough, Bates.
Who's 5?
Logue.
Yeah, Logue was the sleeper last year. He was a low seed. I think he ended up taking 3rd or 4th. But yeah, I would guess Santinello and who was 3 again? Sorry.
Yarborough,
yeah. So 2 nationally ranked guys at that weight.
Is there a matchup for Haas where where you say, okay, if he wins there, he can really get the momentum into that Final Four?
Well, if the seeds stand how they are right now, he would have Logue in the quarter or in the round of 16, who's the 5 seed. So that would be, his big test to get through that one.
And how about Waddle?
Waddle would be the 13, so he would have Bates in the round of 16.
So a good shot there for either of those, but Haas would be your prediction to be the sleeper out of Florida.
We'll take it.
All right. What do we got? We got Braden Basile, another stud from Florida, 125. He's the 4 seed. And let me make sure I have these pages in the right order, because you might be like, hey, wait a second. You just read me a 215 kid. All right. Florida. So we got Big Brother Rivera, Eli Rivera. We've got Andrew Austin. We've got Elijah Lusk, and we've got Braden Basile. Who do you got there to shake the cart?
Is that the correct pronunciation on that, by the way, Basile? Do you know?
Sounds good to me.
Okay, we'll go with that. I didn't know. Me and Tony had this debate of how to pronounce it, but it shouldn't be. But
we can ask him.
Well, he's a returning finalist. He was second last year. And it, back to the sleepers from the tournament that you're talking about, I think Eli Rivera might be one of those sleepers in the overall tournament, just because if you would look at it, I mean, he placed at the GFC, he placed the Ironman, but I don't think he entered in the postseason maybe last year. So maybe flying under the radar a little bit.
Nice. Okay.
But 125 as a whole is probably the deepest weight in the tournament.
Yeah, I'm looking at him now. Wow. I mean, Negret's an absolute beast, Santinello. And I'm just learning this in the last 6 months. I actually know who some of these are now.
Yeah.
I'm pretty impressed with myself. I'm recognizing names. All right, here's one of your guys. You think Swiderski's probably going to take this whole thing here. Who do we got now? 130 is, man, at least from the Florida guys I know. I mean, you've got McClellan, Nini, and Malguizo, which are 3 absolute incredible beasts from Florida. I think I don't think any one of those can really take that 130, I think.
Yeah, it's again another good way. All 3 of those guys have placed at the GFC before. McClellan was a champ last year. So yeah, I'm interested to see how it plays out. I guess, we could see Nini and Malguizo in the round of 16. Usually try to separate guys from the same state, so we might change a couple things, but we'll wait and see, where everyone fits in at the end.
Fun. Yeah, I mean, that division seems pretty stacked too, huh? But
yeah.
All right, so 135, is this a runaway at number 1, or can we see Tom Cook at 3 shock the 135 division? He's from Florida, Tom Cook, or we've got another state champ who was also like a 5-time world jiu-jitsu guy, in Alex Cotto from South Dade. So you got 2, Cotto and Crook. Could we see those 2 guys shock some people and win that? I know Cotto was in the finals last year, right? Or in the semis. He got injured. He lost to Sparkman, who he ended up beating in the state finals to win the championship.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I get the field behind Bouzakis and Rhodes, who we talked about earlier. But yeah, Crook came up last year to the GFC, had a good tournament. I want to say he was maybe 3rd. So yeah, all those guys. Pearson Manville's back at the tournament. Obviously, a really, really tough incoming freshman from PA now.
Did I miss Sparkman? I thought Sparkman was going to be up there this year. He's not in any of these?
I don't know where is he 35?
No, I think he's lighter than that. He's probably 125, but I don't see his name. I thought Sparkman said he was coming up there. I know his team is.
Yeah, he's entered at 25. Again, I mean, maybe that's an oversight from the seating there. Maybe he should be in there. But as I said, that's the deepest weight in the tournament for sure.
Okay, so these are the top 16 that you're seeding.
Yeah.
As
of now, yeah.
Yeah, because Sparkman made a hell of a run last year there. And wow, that 125 division, you're right. That's pretty good. And Sparkman, we just saw him beat Waddle down at a duel in Palm Harbor, 6-0. So that was pretty cool. That wasn't cool for Waddle, but it was cool for Sparkman. So 135, yeah. I mean, you see like a Cotto, Crook maybe doing some things there.
Yeah, I mean, they're definitely going to be contenders to place very highly, no doubt.
But in your opinion, probably a runaway.
It'd be tough for me to pick against Vizakis, yeah.
All right, who do we got? We got Jack Crook at 140, Florida kid. We got Skylar Caban. We got Nico Rodriguez. I'm guessing Jack Crook at 4 is probably the guy that you think, if a Florida kid's going to shock that bracket.
Yeah, he was a finalist last year, and I think he came in as like the 11 seed too. So he outplaced his seed by quite a bit, and I think he would be in the mix to compete for a title again.
And I got to tell you, there's a lot of not just Florida kids, but there's a lot of Florida, Georgia kids across the country coming in that aren't in these seeds that could potentially make a name for themselves.
Yeah, no question.
Well, you got Alec Martin up top. He's awesome. Killick, Raglan. Okay, so we got Jacobs Hines, and we've got Miles Griffin. Wow, those two are incredible Floridians. Jacobs Hines, I think he can shock. I think he can shock 145 and win that whole thing.
I was gonna add is that Malik Hines' brother?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I figured. I just wasn't positive on that. I think he won the GFC when he was in high school. So
Yep.
he either won it or took second.
Yeah, and wait till you see him this year. He looks real good.
Well, Griffin's tough too. He was third at the GFC last year.
Yeah, both of them.
So he'll be in the mix.
But yeah, I like Jacobs there. They have a little guy who's in 6th grade, and he's the little brother. He's a stud.
This is Hines you're talking about?
Yeah, but
Okay.
his last name is Ortiz.
Gotcha.
Adias. He's keep your eye on that one. He's going to do big things. The heavyweights, we don't see too much. We got Jonathan Lay. He's a stud. DeSante, another great wrestler there from the state of Florida. 171. We've got, who do we have there? Swan, Schick, Rice. Some tough kids, huh? Bailey Flanagan.
Yep.
State champ last year coming up. He's at 4 there. He could shake that up, huh?
Yeah, that's a really good weight too.
Wow, 189. You've got Ty Lukens, Jackson Smith, Mikey Talshahar. You got Sawyer Bartlett. Wow, some studs there. Tristan Middlebrook. Diedrich Marshall just pinned his way through the Southeast early entry. He's from Southridge, but he wrestles for out of Grappler. Matthew Menace, man, there's some good wrestling coming, huh?
Yeah, exciting.
Well, because I know a lot of hammers that are in the elite division that are coming from Florida that aren't even in that list.
The list could be wrong. I mean, that's
No. Those are seeded. That's not the bracket.
Right.
The brackets are 60, 70, 80 deep, I'm sure. But
I think the largest right now is like 59 or 60.
Yeah, so that's not that's just the top 15 or 16th of the nation. But there's some kids coming up from Florida, I think, that if you don't know them, you're going to find out.
Yeah, it's a good place to kind of springboard yourself onto the national scene if you're not in it yet.
Yeah. And I really do think we talked about this a little bit earlier. I think that, we all love the Super 32. It's a big traditional tournament in our country. It does big things, but I really think that the Grappler moved in and really took over this year, and just to get everything up early, get the wrestling out there. I think you're going to see a lot of the big hammers come, but they're not going to travel again a week later, 2 weeks later. They're going to stay home. So I think this is going to be the tournament of the summer to watch, or fall, or whatever we're in now.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Super 32 is an awesome tournament. I've been down there a ton of times, but just kind of given the circumstances, I'm just glad that, number one, both the tournaments are happening, and especially that we're able to put on the GFC, which was started with the intention of trying to get Michigan guys the best matches from around the country. So again, just excited, I guess, to get some wrestling back. I mean, that's what we're all after, right?
Yeah. Anything you talked about last night on the preview show that maybe I missed here that you wanted to get out there?
No, I mean, I think we're pretty thorough. We'll see everyone down there. I'll be there Thursday, but weigh-ins are Friday, and we will get after it on Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah, and real quick, let's talk about weigh-ins. You've got early weigh-ins start at 3, right?
Yep.
That's the $20 or whatever it is, right? $15, $20, $25, something. There's a fee.
Yep.
I pay a vig to weigh in early. We got that down, right?
Yep.
And then I asked Tony, because I know my son wants to shift up from the 140 to 145 or whatever it is. He told me, don't worry about it. You don't have to change anything. We'll just adjust it in-house at weigh-in. But weigh-ins are going to go all the way from 3 o'clock till when?
But I think the early period's like 3 to 4, and then the next one is either 6 or 6:30 to 8. So,
okay.
Yeah, you can go fast pass early. But yeah, to your point there, that's a good point. If you miss weight, you're not out of the tournament. Well, if you want to just go up to the next weight, you can do that. It's not a one-step weigh-in either. So if you step on, you miss weight, you can go, keep trying to get down to weight. We're not gonna, people are coming from across the country. We're not gonna, say you stepped on, step off. We're not gonna let you wrestle. We're not gonna do that. So, people have emailed about changing divisions and weights. We'll still take all those, but just know that you can do that all the way up to the scale. So, no need to worry about any of that sort of logistical, those logistical issues.
Okay. And some tournaments you got to pay like $15 because you didn't make weight and you're getting adjusted. Is that the same thing here, or no? You just move?
No, we'll just move you.
Okay. All right. And excited. Any events going on around the Grappler that people want to know about, or anything else you guys are doing? Handing out little shot glasses of liquor to coaches while they're on the mat? Nothing like that?
That might be your job. Yeah, I might test.
Hey, but I'll have some pins, some Pindom pins that I handed out. Maybe if you'd like, I can send you a couple of videos or a picture. Or if you go to Ward Wrestling Live on Facebook, you'll see some of the videos I posted. But I can send you a picture of it or something. Maybe you can post it on the Grappler, and people can come and see me while I'm there if they pin somebody.
Yeah, that'd be great. Shoot it over.
Awesome. Well, I can't wait to get there. I can't wait to get in the car and start driving. I'm excited to see another tournament, and thank you to you and Tony and your team for making it happen this year. And I know you guys are going to put on a safe tournament for these times, and keep everybody in line. And we're going to watch some really good wrestling. I've been telling people since I started seeing the names you guys are throwing out, it's going to be one to watch.
Yeah, no question about it. I appreciate you having me on. I've listened to a bunch of these. I think I told you David Morgan was the first one I listened to, and I think you do an awesome job, and appreciate what you do.
Yeah, I appreciate it. And hey, we can do it again. I'm happy to. I know you do a show up there in Michigan.
Yeah.
I've only been on one other show. That was one of the Home Mat Advantage shows. They invited me on once. It was pretty cool because they had Seth Gross and Jack Mueller on there. So I got to actually meet those guys through the TV, right?
Right, yeah.
And they're pretty good. So that was awesome. But I don't know, man. I'm excited. Thank you so much for doing this. And man, hey, if you're in the area and you're a fan of wrestling, there are a lot of kids that are going to be in this room that you're going to see at the next level. doing big things. So come and watch them.
Absolutely.
All right, man, you take it easy. And again, thanks so much for coming on. And
Thanks again. We'll see you down there later in the week.
yeah, man, and we should have another big name on. Well, we have a girl that's coming to you on later, Juliana. She's coming up there, and then we have and I'm guessing her two teammates are coming up too. I don't know. I haven't talked to Kerwin. I do know Juliana's going, being that you posted her ranking. So I also have RJ Weston coming on tomorrow, which you guys have seated number 1 at 152. So it'll be fun to talk to him, and I'd have to look down the calendar, see if I have someone coming on. But I'll try and get some more on throughout the week that are coming up to the show, so that we can keep talking and get their thoughts on the matchups. But most of them just tell me, I don't care who's in the bracket, I don't read them. I'm just going to go wrestle.
I like that.
All right, man. You take it easy. Thanks again.
Appreciate it.